Hi, my name is Blake Britton, and I'm here to explain on how to change a tire on the 97 Firebird Trans Am. Here I got a short presentation aid on how I do it, short PowerPoint. I'm gonna go through the slides real quick for you. There's jack, ratchets, I have a material slide, I have the jacking, I have it to where you're taking the old tire off, putting the new one on, and that's pretty much it. When it comes to materials, you need a jack, you need the ratchet and the ratchet set, you need a spare tire or a new tire, either one. You need the car for one. If you don't have a car, you can't change a tire at all. That's pretty much all you need. Material-wise, well, and then when changing the tire, you need to when getting the ratchet set, you need to make sure you're getting the right size ratchets and getting the right size ratchet. Just make sure that it fits your car, because if you don't, then kind of out of luck. That's why I say just go ahead and get the whole ratchet and ratchet set. Going into actual changing jacking the car itself, number one thing with jacking the car is safety. If you don't have safety, and you will get hurt, and it's not pretty for a car landing on top of you or anything happening to your car. So the first thing is positioning the jack. You want to make sure the jack on the 97 Trans Am is on the frame of the car where the metal is, or on the K-member. Because if it's not, you can damage the body of the car, damage yourself, because like I said, it'll fall on you. You can damage anything in the bottom of the car, which is not good. So the first thing is safety, and positioning the jack to where it's on the K-member or the frame of your car. Second thing is jacking the car up. Jacking the car up, you want to make sure your jack is tight. It's not loose, because if it's loose, then it's not going to jack, or the car will just fall. Like I said, safety's first. So make sure the jack is tight. Jack the car up. First off, you want to jack the car off where the tire is still on the ground a little bit, so it has a little bit of resistance. So when you unbolt lug nuts, it actually unbolts them. Because if not, tires are just going to sit there and spin. Your lug nuts are not going to unbolt. Alright, so after you have your car jacked up and a little bit, and the tire's still on the ground, you can start getting your ratchet and your size for your lug nut on the unbolted nuts. So with 97, you want to go with a 1/2 inch drive, ratchet drive, and 3/4 inch lug nut. With this, put the lug nut on the ratchet, make sure it's to where you're loosening it, so it's not tightening it, of course. Then you want to take the ratchet and start unbolting the nuts. You want to do a little bit at a time, so the tire is not all positioning, so it's not to where when you're unbolting them, you're stripping the nuts or anything like that. After you undo a little bit at a time to where you can loosen it, that's when you can go ahead and jack the car up a little bit more to where the tire's completely off the ground. Unloosen it with your hand. After that, like I said, a little bit at a time so all of them are off. And after you get all your nuts off, make sure they're in a certain place to where you're not losing them. If you lose them, then you can't put the new or spare tire back on. Alright, after you do that, to take the tire off, all you do is you just lift up on the tire a little bit and pull off. With that, I mean, you might need 2 people with this, depending on how strong you are or anything like that. But all it is lift up a little bit and take it off. After that, just put the old tires somewhere else where you're not losing it, because you never know, you might need a spare or anything like that. Alright, next thing is, this is the slide to take the old tire off, putting the new tire on. Alright, putting the new tire on, you want to make sure when you're putting the tire on that it's centered. If it's not centered, then you can strip nuts. Certain nuts might not go on, you might get frustrated. So always make sure when putting the new tire on, it's centered onto where all the nuts go. After it's centered, you can start hand tightening all the grab each nut where you put them. Start hand tightening a little bit at a time. Make sure it's always centered. Keep doing that until you can't hand tighten it no more. That's when you can take the jack, lower it a little bit again to where the tire is just touching the ground for a little bit of resistance, and then you can take your 1/2 inch ratchet drive and your 3/4 inch lug nut and start tightening up the nuts. After you tighten up all the nuts to where, like I said, always tighten them up a little bit at a time. After you tighten them all up, make sure everything's out of the way. Make sure safety's first, make sure everything's out of the way, stuff like that. Then you can start loosening up the jack. Make sure when you're loosening it, you loosen it a fall. For safety reasons, when you're loosening it, do a little bit, and then after it's always loosened, tire's always ground, pull the jack from underneath the car, and boom, new tires on. And that's how you change the 97 Transmission tire. After it's finished done, you can get all your materials cleaned up, and then you're on your way.